Now, like I said, it's really important that you close a file when you're done with it. And so the pattern is you open the file, you do something to the file, and then you close it. And the time between opening and closing the file should be as short as possible. The only thing between these two things are what you need to do to the file in between, because you don't want to forget. Open and close, open and close. It's just like your refrigerator at home, kids. If my kids are watching, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so one way to make sure that your file gets closed, even if there's an error, is using try and accept. Okay, so if I use try and accept and finally, I'm going to get rid of all this because it's more complicated than I want. But let's say I want to write to a file. And so we're going to try and we have a my file equals open. We'll use the same one. We'll open it for writing. Okay, and I'm going to try to do the writing here too. So I'm going to say my file dot write. And I have an accept here that says print I couldn't write to the file. And I'm going to use finally here because if I don't, let's say I put the close for this right here, my file dot close. What happens if I get an error? Let's say I can't write to that file and I get an error here. The file's open, I try and add something, it gets an error, and it skips down to accept. What happens is the file doesn't get closed if I put it here. And that's bad because the file could become corrupt if it doesn't get closed. And so if I want to be safe about this, what I can do is I can move this to here because remember, finally gets executed no matter what. And when we did try, accept, and finally, I mentioned that, but this is what I'm talking about. And by the way, PyCharm is going to highlight this in orange because it says, I'm not sure that your my file is going to exist there. Because if it doesn't get opened in the first place, then it's not going to exist. So what would be wise here is to check to see if that exists before you try and open it, because that's the most likely error you're going to get is you can't open that file. So if you check that, then you can be confident that this will not throw another error. You don't want to throw an error in your try and accept finally block. So there are ways to find out